Welcome back to the deep dive. This is where we really get into the thick of complex stories, pulling out those crucial insights, those fascinating bits you need to be properly informed.
That's right.
And today, well, our focus is on this extraordinary mind. I mean, imagine someone so driven by pure intellect that they actually use potent stimulants just to escape, as he puts it, the dull routine of existence.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about the sheer mental energy involved.
Absolutely. It's quite a way to live, constantly operating at that peak intellectual intensity.
And it's a really compelling way into the world of, well, one of literature's most iconic figures. The sources you've given us, they lay out one of the most baffling, utterly captivating cases you can imagine, the whole mystery around the Agra treasure.
Right.
So our mission today really is to unpack these detailed accounts. We want to reveal that incredible chain of events. You've got cryptic notes, hints of dark past.
A high-speed river chase.
Exactly. A breathless chase down the Thames. And it all leads to this, well, really surprising twist at the end.
And right at the center of this whole maze is this man. He doesn't just, do detection. He believes it is or ought to be an exact science. His mind, he says, it rebels at stagnation. He needs problems, complex ones. That's his proper atmosphere.
Yeah, he thrives on it.
So we're going to explore his unique methods, his, frankly, remarkable ability for observation and deduction, and also some of the, well, startling personal details behind that genius. So get ready, because this deep dive, it's going to be quite a ride.
Oh, definitely. And to really get a handle on this case, we first have to understand the man himself, right? Dive into his mind. And the first thing that hits you reading these accounts is his daily routine.
A hypodermic syringe.
Yeah. And a 7% solution of cocaine. It's quite stark.
It is. But it's interesting how he explains it, isn't it? He's not really after pleasure. He talks about needing mental exaltation.
Right, exaltation.
Which says so much about the demands of his work, doesn't it? That he feels he has to fight off that dull routine of existence so actively. He claims it's transcendently stimulating and clarifying to the mind.
And the physical side effects.
A matter of small moment, he says. It's all about keeping that mental engine running at full throttle for his cases.
Exactly. And he's created this unique professional niche for himself. He calls himself the only unofficial consulting detective.
Basically the last resort.
Pretty much. The last and highest court of appeal and detection. So when the official police, the Gregsons and Lestrades, are out of their depths.
Which he suggests is pretty often.
Yes. Their normal state, as he puts it. That's when people bring cases to him.
Yeah.
And he treats detection like this exact science. Really pushes back against any kind of romanticism.
Oh, yeah, he hates that. He even criticized an earlier case write-up, didn't he, for trying to tinge it with romanticism.
He did. Likened it to trying to work a love story into, what was it, a geometric proposition?
Perfect analogy for him.
Yeah.
Shows that rigid logic.
And you see that dedication, that scientific approach, in his monographs, these detailed papers he writes.
On things that seem completely trivial to most people. But it's not just eccentricity, is it?
No, not at all. It highlights his belief that every detail, no matter how small, is crucial data. It's all part of the scientific pursuit of truth.
Like his work upon the distinction between the ashes of the various tobaccos. How many forms did he list?
140. Cigar, cigarette, pipe tobacco. All cataloged. With colored plates even. Incredible focus.
And it doesn't stop there. It's got others too, right?
Oh, yeah. There's one on the tracing of footsteps, talks about using plaster of Paris casts. And another, this curious little work on how a person's trade affects the shape of their hand.
With pictures.
Lithotypes, yeah. Showing the hands of slaters, weavers, diamond polishers. It's all about turning tiny, seemingly insignificant things into hard evidence. Actionable intelligence.
He doesn't just theorize. He puts it into practice. Astonishingly so. There's that classic demonstration he gives showing the difference between just looking and actually observing.
Observation versus deduction.
He uses these tiny, simple facts, like how he knew his companion had been to a specific post office that morning. What was it? Just some reddish mud on his shoe.
A little reddish mold.
Yeah.
Found near the Wigmore Street post office, apparently. That's his microforensic vision right there. That's the observation.
Okay, so that's the observation part.
Right. Then comes the deduction. It's a process of elimination, pure logic. He knew his companion hadn't written a letter, for instance, because they'd been sitting opposite each other all morning.
Okay, makes sense.
And he sees stamps and postcards on the desk, so deduces the only reason left to visit the post office was to send a telegram.
As he says, eliminate all other factors, and the one which remains must be the truth.
Exactly, almost clinical precision.
It sounds so simple when he says it, but actually doing it in a real situation, that's the genius. And he proves it again with that watch test. His companion thinks it's impossible.
Right, challenges him. Deduce the character, the habits of the previous owner of this watch, and the watch had just been clean.
Which should have wiped away the clues.
You'd think so. Removed most suggestive facts, as the text says. But he still pulls it off. First, he figures out it belonged to an elder brother who got it from their father.
How? The initials?
Initials HW on the back, plus the age of the watch, nearly 50 years old. That sets the scene, gives you a family history right away.
Okay, impressive start. But then the really wild stuff, the deductions about the brother's character.
Oh, yeah. That he had untidy habits.
Right. Threw away his chances.
Lived in poverty mostly, but with occasional short intervals of prosperity.
And the tragic end, taking to drink, he died.
How on earth do you get that from a watch?
Okay, this is where the super close observation comes in, turning wear and tear into a life story. He points out dints and marks on the lower part of the case.
From what?
From keeping it in the same pocket as other hard things, like coins or keys. Shows carelessness, maybe reflects his financial state too, jangling change around.
Huh. Okay.
Then inside the case, 4 tiny pinpoint numbers scratched there. Pawnbroker's marks.
No way. Yes. Each mark signifying a time he was broke, low water, followed by getting it back, those bursts of prosperity.
Wow.
And the final clue, thousands of tiny scratches around the keyhole, where the key slipped. An unsteady hand, the drunkard's watch, he calls it. It's a whole biography etched in metal.
It's just incredible forensic work. And right after that display, we meet the person who brings the case, Miss Mary Morstan.
Yes. She arrives, and the description is quite specific. Small, dainty, well-gloved.
But plainly dressed, suggesting she doesn't have much money.
Right. Plainness and simplicity is suggesting limited means. But there's something else, too. A sweet and amiable expression. A singularly spiritual and sympathetic nature, even though she's clearly very agitated underneath.
And her story is the key. Her father, Captain Morstan, an officer in India, vanished nearly 10 years ago, December 3rd, 1878.
He'd just returned from India. His luggage was left at the Langham Hotel, full of, interestingly, curiosities from the Andaman Islands. Then, nothing.
Until the pearls started arriving.
Exactly. 6 years ago, May 4th, 1882, a large, beautiful pearl arrives in the post. No note, no clue who sent it. And then another one the next year and the next. Annually.
Bizarre and mysterious. But now there's something new.
Yes, that's why she's come. An anonymous letter arrived today. It invites her to the Lyceum Theater tonight, 7 o'clock. Calls her a wronged woman.
Ooh, intriguing.
And it specifically warns her not to bring the police.
Okay, the plot definitely thickens there.
And Holmes, of course, immediately examines the letter, the envelope, spots a man's thumb mark, deduces the sender is particular in his stationery from the paper quality. Classic Holmes.
So given the weirdness and the warning, what does he decide?
He decides he'll go with her himself. And he asks his companion, the narrator, to come too. So they become the two friends the letter requested. Which means, essentially, you, the listener, are right there with them heading into this mystery.
And even before they leave, Holmes has already made a connection, hasn't he? A quick deduction?
Yes, a swift one. He remembers Major Sholto, Captain Morstan's only known friend back in London. Sholto denied knowing Morstan had returned.
Okay.
Then, 4 years after Morstan vanished, Major Sholto dies. And within a week, the pearls start arriving.
Ah, so Holmes figures Sholto's heir must know something, maybe making amends.
That's his initial theory, that the heir is making some kind of compensation for whatever wrong Major Sholto did regarding Captain Morstan.
But it's probably not that simple. There's that other clue, the paper found in Captain Morstan's desk.
Right, that curious paper. It's like a map, a plan of a building. There's a red cross marked with measurements 3.37 from the left.
And that strange symbol.
A curious hieroglyphic, yeah, like 4 crosses jumbled together and written underneath. The sign of the 4, followed by 4 names. Jonathan Small, Muhammad Singh, Abdullah Khan, Dost Akbar.
The sign of the four. That sounds ominous. Definitely more than just compensation.
Much more. It hints at some kind of pact, a secret society maybe. It adds a layer of danger right away.
And the journey they take that night really adds to that feeling. London's all foggy.
Oh, the atmosphere is thick. Dense, drizzly fog, the text says. A real sense of unease. Then at the Lyceum Theater, they meet this contact.
The small, dark, brisk man.
Yes, and he immediately asks if either of them is a police officer. Straight away, you feel the secrecy, the potential danger.
And the carriage ride afterwards sounds pretty unsettling, too.
It is. They're driven through parts of South London that are unfamiliar, described as questionable and forbidding. Eventually, they end up at this dark, isolated house, guarded by a Hindu servant. The whole setup just screams suspicion.
And inside, they finally meet Thaddeus Sholto, Major Sholto's son. He sounds like quite a character.
Definitely eccentric. A small man with a very high head, bristly red hair, bald scalp. And he's constantly jerking and smiling. Seems very nervous.
A hypochondriac, too, wasn't he? Worried about his heart valve.
Yes. Asks Holmes for a stethoscope opinion on his mitral valve. A complete bundle of nerves.
But his room is surprisingly luxurious.
It's a total contrast to the house. An oasis of art in the howling desert of South London, filled with oriental carpets and hangings. Really rich, but maybe a bit jarring given the location and his apparent anxiety.
And he quickly gets to the point. His father, the Major.
Yeah, Thaddeus reveals Major Sholto lived in fear, specifically of men with wooden legs, and he'd received some shocking letter from India just before he died.
Which leads to the deathbed confession. This is crucial, right?
Absolutely pivotal. Major Sholto confessed he'd withheld the treasure from Miss Morstan. Half of it should have been hers, but cursed greed stopped him.
And he explained what happened to Captain Morstan.
He did. According to the Major, it wasn't exactly murder. They argued over dividing the treasure. Morstan had a weak heart, collapsed, hit his head on the treasure chest, and died.
Convenient for Sholto.
Very. Sholto, panicked about being accused of murder, got his servant, Lal Chowdar, to help him dispose of the body secretly. So yeah, a very tangled story of guilt and concealment.
But there was more to the Major's death scene. An intrusion.
A really chilling detail. As the Major lay dying, this face appeared at the window. A bearded, hairy face with wild, cruel eyes and an expression of concentrated malevolence.
Terrifying.
And later, found on the Major's body, a torn piece of paper with the sign of the four scrawled on it.
Connecting directly back to Morstan's mysterious paper. So that whatever this sign of the four is, it was hunting Sholto.
Precisely. It's not just about old guilt. There's an active threat linked to that name and those names.
And this brings us to the immediate crisis. Thaddeus's twin brother, Bartholomew.
Yes. Thaddeus explains that Bartholomew had just found the treasure, hidden away in a secret attic room, a garret.
How did he find it?
Apparently by measuring the house. He realized there were 4 feet unaccounted for in the building's height compared to the plans. Echoes of Holmes's own methods, that precise measurement.
And the treasure was huge, wasn't it?
£500,000 Thaddeus says, an immense fortune. But Bartholomew didn't get to enjoy it.
Because Thaddeus leads them to discover his body.
Yes, and the scene is described as truly gruesome. They find Bartholomew in his chemical laboratories, stiff and cold. He has this horrible smile fixed on his face, his body twisted and turned.
What else was there?
On the table, a strange weapon, a brown, close-grained stick with a stone head like a hammer, and chillingly, another card bearing the sign of the four.
So the four were here, but how was he killed? That smile sounds awful.
Holmes finds the cause almost immediately. A long, dark thorn stuck in the skin just above the ear. He instantly identifies it as poisoned.
Poisoned. And the treasure?
Gone. Vanished from the attic room.
So Thaddeus is left terrified. His brother's dead, the treasure's gone, and he's worried he'll be blamed.
Understandably. It looks terrible for him. But Holmes is calm, pragmatic. He tells Thaddeus to fetch the police immediately, assuring him he'll clear his name and handle the investigation.
Right, so Holmes takes charge. And now his deductive skills really kick into high gear. How did the killers get in?
That's the first puzzle. The door was locked from the inside. The window was inaccessible. So Holmes reaches the seemingly impossible conclusion.
Down to the roof.
Through the hole in the roof
Yeah.
that led down to the secret garret where the treasure was. It's the only logical explanation once you eliminate everything else.
And the footprints provide more clues.
Crucial clues. They find clear prints of a wooden stump.
The wooden-legged man Major Sholto feared.
Exactly. And alongside those, prints of very unusual naked feet. tiny, described as half the size of an ordinary man's, and with toes that are distinctly divided. Very specific.
Okay, a wooden-legged man and someone with tiny, unique feet. What else?
The creosote. Holmes spots a circular muddy mark and smells this evil-smelling mess on the floor near the windowsill. He realizes one of the culprits must have stepped in it outside.
Providing a scent trail.
Precisely. A vital clue for tracking them later.
And the murder weapon itself, the dart.
Also revealing. Long, sharp, and black with a glazed look. Holmes notes it's clearly not of English origin. Adds to the exotic element of the crime.
What about that horrific smile on Bartholomew's face?
Holmes identifies it as rhesus sardonicus. That fixed, ghastly grin, it indicates death by a powerful poison, probably a vegetable alkaloid, something like strychnine, causing intense muscle contractions.
So Holmes is assembling the pieces, the wooden leg.
He connects that immediately to Jonathan Small, one of the names on the Sign of the Four document, the very man Major Sholto feared. It points towards Small being an ex-convict, likely from the Andaman Islands connection through Morstan, seeking revenge or the treasure.
And the associate. The one with the tiny feet and the poison dart.
This requires a bit more deduction. Holmes eliminates other possibilities. He recalls something about the Andaman Islands, a moment where his memory failed him earlier, perhaps triggered by Captain Morstan's curiosities. He puts it together, the small footprints, the poison dart, the stone-headed club found nearby. It all points to an Andaman Islander.
Who described how?
As historically described as a fierce, morose, and intractable people in the source material we have, known for using poison darts and specific types of clubs. This associate, Holmes deduces, is number one, the savage, as the text rather crudely puts it.
Okay, so Jonathan Small, the wooden-legged man, and an Andaman Islander associate. Now they need to find them.
And that's where Toby comes in.
The dog.
The queer mongrel with the most amazing power of scent. Holmes knows he'll be essential for following that creosote trail.
And he uses his network too, right? The Baker Street Irregular?
Yes, his unofficial force. These dirty and ragged little street Arabs, as they're called. He sends them out to scour the riverbanks and find the steam launch the culprits likely used to escape the Aurora. It's a brilliant use of unconventional resources.
Which leads to the chase down the Thames. Sounds pretty dramatic.
Oh, absolutely. Described as a mad flying manhunt. You have to picture the fog, the speeding steam launch, Aurora, Holmes, and Watson in hot pursuit in their own faster police boat. It's pure action.
And they finally spot them on the launch.
Yes. Jonathan Small, clear as day with his wooden stump. And beside him, Tonga, the Andaman Islander. He's described as the smallest man I have ever seen, with a misshapen head, fierce eyes, and distorted features.
And Tonga tries to fight back.
He does. He raises his blowpipe, ready to fire another poison dart. But Holmes and Watson are ready. They both fire their revolvers.
And Tonga.
He's hit and falls overboard into the dark water of the Thames. Gone.
Leaving Jonathan Small.
Exactly. With Tonga gone, Small is quickly overpowered and captured, and that's when he gives his full confession, revealing the entire extraordinary story behind the Agra treasure.
Okay, let's hear it. Where did this treasure even come from?
Small explains it was amassed by an Indian Raja during the time of the Indian Mutiny. For safety, the Rajan sent it with a trusted servant, a merchant named Achmet, to be hidden in Agra Fort.
And Small was there, in Agra Fort.
Yes. He'd lost his leg to a crocodile earlier, so he was working as an overseer on a plantation, then ended up as a guard at the fort during the mutiny. It was there he met 3 Sikh troopers, Muhammad Singh, Abdullah Khan, and Dost Akbar.
The other names from the Sign of the Four.
The very same. The 4 of them conspired to steal the treasure from Achmet when he arrived at the fort. That became their pact, the Sign of the Four.
So they ambushed Achmet.
Small claims Achmet tripped over his wooden leg in the dark, and then one of the Sikhs stabbed him. Small insists he didn't strike the blow himself, but he was clearly part of the conspiracy.
But things went wrong after they got the treasure.
Terribly wrong. They hid the treasure, but before they could escape with it, news of Achmet's murder got out. Small and the 3 Sikhs were arrested, tried, and sentenced to penal servitude for life.
And the treasure remained hidden. But how did Sholto and Morstan get involved?
The betrayal. While planning the theft, Small had realized they'd need help escaping the fort afterwards. He contacted 2 guards, Major Sholto and Captain Morstan, and bribed them with a share of the treasure to help smuggle him and the Sikhs out.
But Sholto and Morstan double-crossed them.
Completely. After Small and his associates were arrested, Sholto and Morstan located the hidden treasure themselves and simply stole it. They resigned their commissions and left India with the fortune.
Wow. So Small serves decades in prison while the men who betrayed him live in luxury.
Exactly.
Hmm.
20 years Small spent in the Andaman Islands penal colony, described as a fever-ridden swamp, a brutal existence. But it was there he met Tonga.
The Andaman Islander.
Yes. Tonga became fiercely loyal to Small, his faithful mate. Eventually, Small managed to escape with Tonga's help, and his goal was clear. Track down Sholto and Morstan, get the treasure back, and get revenge.
Did he kill Major Sholto?
No. Small confers the Major died basically of fright, a heart attack induced by seeing Small's face peering through the window that night. But Bartholomew...
Tonga killed him.
Yes. According to Small, Tonga acted on his own savage instincts when they found Bartholomew with the treasure. He shot him with the poisoned dart. Small seems to distance himself from that killing too, though he was clearly there.
And the treasure itself. After all that, where is it now?
This is the final, stunning revelation. Small reveals that as the police boat was closing in on the Aurora, he took the entire Agra treasure, the jewels, the pearls, everything, and threw it overboard piece by piece into the Thames.
He just dumped it. £500,000.
Every last bit. His reasoning. Pure defiance. He said, no living man has any right to it, unless it is 3 men who are in the Andaman convict barracks and myself. If he couldn't have it, nobody would. Especially not the heirs of the men who betrayed him.
What an ending to the chase. So this brings us to the aftermath. They retrieved the treasure chest Small kept.
Yes, the heavy, ornate Indian metal box, the object of all this greed, betrayal, and violence. They finally managed to open it.
It's empty.
Absolutely and completely empty. All that struggle, all that death, ultimately for nothing tangible.
But for Watson, the narrator, this emptiness is actually good news.
It's a profound moment for him. He actually exclaims, "Thank God." Because for him, the treasure represented this huge golden barrier between him and Miss Morstan, who he'd fallen deeply in love with.
He felt he couldn't propose to an heiress.
Exactly. But with the treasure gone, that barrier vanishes. He immediately confesses his love, and she accepts him. So out of the loss of the treasure comes this unexpected personal happiness.
A very different outcome than for anyone else involved with the treasure. What about Holmes's reaction to this?
Oh, classic Holmes. Watson tells him the news, overjoyed, and Holmes responds with a dismal groan, literally says, "I really cannot congratulate you."
No sentimentality there.
None whatsoever. He firmly states his belief that love is an emotional thing, and whatever is emotional is opposed to that true cold reason which I place above all things. His focus remains purely intellectual.
And his final thought kind of sums him up, doesn't it?
It really does. After solving this incredibly complex case, exposing decades of secrets, his concluding remark is bleakly personal. For me, there still remains the cocaine bottle. It's a stark reminder of his chosen path, that isolation fueled by intellectual pursuit, perhaps at the cost of human connection.
And meanwhile, the official police.
Ah, yes. Athelney Jones, the detective, gets the public credit for the capture and wrapping up the case, even though, as Watson notes, Holmes did all the work.
A familiar story for the unofficial consultant.
Indeed. Highlights that gap between public perception and where the real breakthroughs happen.
So what a journey we've taken, right from that Baker Street flat through foggy London into this dark history stretching back to India down the Thames, uncovering this incredible story of greed, betrayal, revenge, all seen through the eyes of this truly unique analytical mind.
It really is far more than just a detective story when you unpack it all.
Absolutely, and I think the key takeaway really is seeing how these deeply personal histories, these old secrets, and tiny details like pawnbroker marks or mud on a shoe can all weave together across decades and continents to create these incredibly complex situations.
It absolutely underscores the power of that meticulous observation, that relentless logical deduction, doesn't it? How it can unravel even what seems like an insoluble mystery and expose the raw human drama underneath it all.
Definitely. And maybe a final thought for you, our listener, to consider as you reflect on this deep dive. Jonathan Small was convinced the Agra treasure was cursed, bringing only misery.
And it certainly seemed to for many. Major Sholto got fear and guilt. Small got decades of servitude and ultimately nothing. Bartholomew got death.
Exactly. But Watson, when the treasure vanished, when the box was empty, he found love and happiness. So what does this whole case suggest about what we truly value? What are we really searching for in life beyond just stuff, beyond possessions? Something to think about.